Now, as fans of magic, you're all probably familiar with the old effect where you take a cap off a marker, get a little static electricity there, and then if you bring the cap near, it'll pop. The electricity apparently pop right back on. I do mine a little different. With mine, what I do at the end of it is I talk about, oh, you know, I've done it a few times, the static electricity's built up so much, I'm not sure, and I hand it to the strongest guy in the room, and in fact, I say, in fact, I'm pretty sure you won't even be able to get the cap off the marker. And no matter how hard he, 2 or 3 or 4 huge guys pull on the cap, there's no way this cap is ever coming off. The difference between a magic trick and a prank really comes down to how you present it. And this is a great example. Now, to perform this trick that starts off as a bit of a gag and ends as a total mystery, something inexplicable, what you're going to need is one of my very special markers I sell on my website with huge industrial strength magnets, and there's wires and girders, and there's a pig that runs around, and I'm joking. What you actually need is, ta-da, just some epoxy, some super glue, okay? You're going to need some super glue. Epoxy, something that works with plastics, and a cap, and another cap. Because what this is a great example of low expectations, and people relax their guard just long enough for you to seriously blow their minds. It's a lovely combination of things. So you start with this cap, and what I've done, what you'll do, is put some epoxy glue in there. What you might want to do is take a nail, reach inside and scrape, 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 scrape the inside of the cap to give it some lines and some grooves and textures for the glue to grip. Then take the same nail, scratch, 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 scratch off the end there, then cover this with some epoxy glue. Put that on, make sure it's nice and tight, clean up any of the little bit, actually you can use the tip of the nail again to clean it up, and let that harden overnight. So that is permanently stuck on there. Nobody can get that sucker off, okay? Then you've got this other cap on the other end. So the whole thing, I mean, you can use it actually just like an ordinary marker if you want, right? But when you want to do the old sort of magnetic pen cap idea, you need some moisture. You could, of course, cut your arm, get a bit of blood on there. I wouldn't suggest that. You can have a glass in a bar situation, have a glass with some condensation on the outside, get a bit of that, or dip your fingers in. Or what I just do, I mean, after all, I'm just a greasy, sweaty mammal. So that's what I do. Get a little spittle there. And I say, hey, da-da-da-da. You hold it out like this, and you go, look, like this, and da-da-da. And again, you want to make sure the more moisture, the better. And you rub it here, and because of the conical shape there, just a little squeeze on that, and that sucker will fly right on, okay? Now, it's a very low-key, silly, and the explanation, static electricity, nobody believes it. So everyone lowers their guard, and you take it off like this. And now all I do is I come over and pretend to put it on. Very simple gesture. And another thing that my videographer guy, Chris, helped me tweak a bit there, I admit it, is you're here, and don't make a move of this, okay? Their expectations are low. You take the cap off, lower it even a little bit, and you're saying something, okay? And you're here, and then you just come over and do that. Kind of pull this into the hand. If it sounds, a little bit of sound only sells the illusion, okay? And then a little tweak, just a little tweak like this, and drop to your side, okay? Now, this is barely palming. You're holding it in your hand. This is just at your side, okay? Hand this to someone, and then, so if they go, you know, because they're sort of basically saying it's not very impressive, and you say, well, hey, why don't you try it? Okay, and they can try to take the cap off, or you can say, the static electricity is built up, I don't think you can even take it off, go ahead. Now, don't be worried about having this in your hand. Don't think like a magician. Let me ask you, what could be in your hand that would allow that cap to permanently adhere to that? What? It makes no sense at all. So don't sweat it. Try this. A little bit of practice in front of the mirror for that. You'll see it flows really nicely, and you're going to have a blast with it.